Alright, test 1 2, test 1 2, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar, testing 1 2 3. Okay, everything looks good. Alright, we are about ready to do this net. Alrighty, folks, this is Kimberly, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar, your net control station for the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net, which will begin in about 5 minutes from now. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar, standing by for the net. Rats.
CQ, this is KQ4EFK.
3K3 Charlie, do you listen?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net. My name is Kimberly Kilo Juliet 7. Oscar, Mike Oscar is my call sign, and my pronouns are she, her. I am your net control operator for this net. This is a roundtable, general discussion, and rag-chew net, and all calls should go through the net control station. This net meets every Sunday at 2 a.m. Coordinated Universal Time. Before we begin, do we have any emergency or other priority traffic? If at any time there is an emergency, please say break, break, and we will assist you. This net provides a safe place for members of the LGBTQIA+ community as well as their allies to hang out over the airwaves. This net, as well as the network it's hosted on, is open to all licensed amateur radio operators. No membership is necessary, and we also welcome third-party traffic as well. Speaking of memberships, the Pride Radio Group provides an inclusive environment for all to learn, experiment, and enjoy radio communications by encouraging, promoting, and supporting diversity with the wider radio community, sharing our experiences and learnings with the community, and celebrating and embracing Pride on the air. For more information about the Pride Radio Group and how to join plus gain access to our Discord chat room, head on over to prideradio.group. That is prideradio.group, or you can check out Victor Kilo 3 Papa Romeo Golf or Kilo 3 Papa Romeo Golf on QRZ. Membership is free and all are welcome, regardless of who you are and who you love, unless you hate us, of course. This net is being relayed on the various nodes, top groups, and reflectors of the Pride Radio Network and affiliated systems, including All-Star, Echolink, IRLP, DMR, YSF Reflector, Wires X, M17, NXDN, P25, and D-Star, as well as various RF repeaters around the world, and is also streamed live on my YouTube on YouTube via my YouTube channel by searching for my call sign Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar, as well as additional broadcast feeds on Broadcastify and Icecast. For information on how you can connect to this network, please visit PrideRadioNetwork.com. That is PrideRadioNetwork.com. And finally, you can also track and follow this net by downloading NetLogger on Windows, Linux, or Mac OS from netlogger.org. That is netlogger.org. And if you're an Android user, you may download, what is it called? Netscraper instead. NetLogger is an awesome piece of software. You can log into the net with it, and you can see a list of call signs pop up in real time and easily follow along with the net. It's pretty awesome. And you can also discover other nets with it as well. Okay then, before we begin this evening's net, do we have any news, announcements, or other items of business for the net and the Pride Radio Group? Alrighty, hearing nothing, This is Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar once again, and we will now begin taking check-ins, starting off with check-ins from mobile, short on time, or in and out stations. So if you're mobile, don't have much time, or if you just simply want to pop in for a real quick hello and then get out, all I need are your call signs slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, you may give us your pronouns as well.
Victor Kilo 3 Juliet Echo Delta. Victor Kilo 3 Juliet Echo.
Alright, well, it sounded like there was a lot of flutter in your transmission, almost as if you were talking directly into a fan. But I did copy your call sign, Victor Kilo 3, Juliet Echo Delta. Who else do we have out there that is mobile, short on time, or in and out?
Kilo 3 Papa Juliet Echo Delta. Victor Kilo 3 Papa Juliet.
Alright, that was a very rough copy, but I did copy Victor Kilo 3 Papa Whiskey Juliet. Anyone else out there who are mobile, in and out, or short on time?
VK3 Tango Charlie Papa.
Alright, Victor Kilo 3 Tango Charlie Papa, got you down. Any other mobile, short on time, or in and out stations?
Kilo 2 Bravo Sierra Delta, Yakov in Sydney, in and out.
Alright, Victor Kilo 2 Bravo Sierra Delta, thank you for stopping by, and 7-3. Anyone else out there who is mobile, short on time, or in and out?
Victor Kilo 3, Mike Alpha Golf, running mobile from the Rosebud Radio Festival with VK3 Bravo Uniform Golf with me as well.
Alright, awesome, perfect copy of VK Victor Kilo 3 Mike Alpha Golf and Victor Kilo 3 Bravo Uniform Golf. Both of you are checked in. Any other mobile, in and out, or short on time stations? What the? Wow! Wow, this is a pretty darn good start to the net. Alrighty, it looks like we got everybody. This is Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar, and I will now hand it off to Tony, VK3 JED.
G'day, Kim and Lee and everyone else. Just on the way back from the Rosebud Radio Festival as well. Coming into the mode I'm using at the moment. Only left a couple of minutes ago, still negotiating way out of the local area onto the freeway, into the freeway and tollway for most of the trip. Had a lot of interest, a lot of questions on M17. It's quite a good day. Met up pretty much all the others that checked in the net today. There were all at the radio festival. There's so many mobile stations at this point in time. Anyway,
Alright, Tony, it looks like you bit the alligator there. Yeah, you got a heavy amount of picket fencing in your transmission, like extremely heavy, but I was able to get the gist of what you said, and it looks like you've had a lot of fun at the festival. I sure wish I was there. Perhaps one of these days. Alright, we're gonna toss the mic over to Victor Kilo 3, Papa Whiskey Juliet, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar, over to you. Oh my goodness, I cannot even copy that station. Alright, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar returning. Unfortunately, your audio was low and it sounded like you were extremely garbled up. It looks like both you and Tony are experiencing some issues getting into the network. So unfortunately, Peter, I was not able to copy anything of what you said. Not a single thing. So if you both can try and get a better, both you and Tony, if you both can try and get a better connection to the network and try again when it's when the rotation goes back to you. In the meantime, we're gonna toss it over to Victor Kilo 3, Tango Charlie Papa, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. Over to you.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm also at the Spark Radio Fest with everyone else. I was just noticing I'm on Echolink and a few other people using M17, and the audio is completely in sync, which is nice to see. I thought I'd just drop in and say hello. I've got to move on and get some food and such, and hopefully get a soda activation in before I head home. But I just wanted to say hello to everyone. KJ7OMO, VK3, Tango Charlie Papa.
Alright, VK3, Tango Charlie Papa, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar returning. Well, thank you for the quick check-in there, and 7-3, and have fun, and all that stuff. We'll go ahead and mark you as checked out. Alright, we're going to toss the mic over to VK3, MAG, KJ7OMO. Over to you.
VK3 MAG, thank you. I'm here at the Rosebud Radio Festival. It's just packing up now. I managed to get my hands on an ICOM IC820 for $350, which will be a lot of fun as a new bass for me, as it does 2 meters and 70 centimeters, but also sideband. So I should be able to have quite a bit of fun with that. Be a big upgrade from my Baofeng. Even though it's not portable. So I'm going to be taking that back to VK3BUG's place in a little bit and soldering up a hand mic for it, as it didn't come with one. And then after that, once I've got it back to my house, I should be able to use it next week to get on the net via the local repeater that VK3JED operates. That'll be a lot of fun. But as of right now, this is probably going to be me, my last transmission as well, because I've got VK3BUG sitting in the back seat complaining about wanting some lunch. So I will pass it back to you, VK3MAG out.
Alrighty, VK3MAG, KJ7OMO returning. Well, thank you so much for checking in, and we'll gladly have you back on the net at a future date. 7-3 to you. And let's see if VK3BUG would like to chime in. KJ7OMO, over to you.
Yeah, I'm also at Spark with MAG, as I mentioned. And, yeah, had a pretty good deal myself. I found an old iMac A1311 for only $1, so that's going to be a fun little project. Might pop Linux on it and do OpenWebRx. Just a short one from me. I'll pass back to you.
Alrighty, well, thank you for your check-in, and I shall say 7-3, and have fun with that $1 computer, and to MAG, have fun with that ICOM radio. Alright, we've reached the bottom of the list. Let's see if we let's see if we can get some more folks added. Let's open check-ins up to anyone, anywhere now. So anyone, anywhere, if you'd like to check in to the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net, all I need are your call signs, slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, you may give us your pronouns as well. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. I'm going to stand by for any more check-ins.
Whiskey Zero Delta, Yankee Delta. Whiskey Zero Delta, Yankee Delta.
Okay, we have Whiskey Zero Delta, Yankee Delta. Anyone else out there wishing to check in?
November 4, X-ray. Sarah here, she, her.
Doggone it. Oh, here we go. Alrighty, November 4, November, Yankee X-ray. Got you down. Anyone else out there wishing to check in? Alright, well, looks like we have a net logger check-in from Kilo Oscar 4 Tango Echo Zulu, who is currently experiencing issues connecting to one of the Echo Link nodes. So we'll get that escalated to the right person and hopefully get that node fixed. In the meantime, if you're hearing this, you may connect to the other Echo Link nodes that are available, and of course there are plenty of other access points on the other networks that we are on. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and toss the mic over to Whiskey Zero Delta Yankee Delta Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar. Mike Oscar, over to you.
Okay, Kimberly, this is Whiskey Zero Delta Yankee Delta, Gary in Shakopee, Minnesota, near Minneapolis, and very glad to get in on the net here. This is my very first contact on C4 FM on Yaesu, System Fusion here, and using a Anytone 878 EMR, and have it programmed on the OpenSpot 4 Pro, which I just had for a couple of weeks, cross mode over to this mode. So glad to see that it is working here. So thank you, and back to that, W0DYD.
All right, W0DYD, your setup is working fantastic, and thanks for stopping by for the net. We'll call you again in just a little bit. November 4, November Yankee X-Ray, Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar, over to you. November 4, November Yankee Extra, Sarah, are you still out there? Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar.
Can confirm still here, just set radio down somewhere inconvenient for a moment. Oh well. If I was to say anything for this week, it's been fun doing some SSTV for the Trans Remembrance, Trans Awareness Week. I'll go ahead and start off my round by saying that and pass that back up to net control. This is N4 NYX.
All right, November 4, November Yankee X-Ray, Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar returning. That is awesome. I'm thinking about getting on HF later on and see what I can do. Maybe rickroll people on SSTV. Hi. All right, we'll see what happens. Let's see if Kilo Oscar 4 Tango Echo Zulu is able to reach our network. I know that CJ is having a hard time getting in on one of the nodes, but let's see if CJ can get in on another node. Over to you, KJ70MO. Alright, looks like CJ is still having a hard time getting in the network, so we'll call that station again in just a bit. Before I put it back up to the top of the list, do we have anybody else out there wishing to check in at this time? Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar standing by.
Alright, trying again. KO4TEZ. Into the KG7OMO link.
There we go. Kilo Oscar 4 Tango Echo Zulu. We hear you loud and clear. We'll toss it over to you.
Much appreciated. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what's going on with its fast DSL DSL connection showing itself again. Currently combating the the bug and the flu both from the couch, so not at the usual control point, but it works. It was great to make the PRG call contact to. Been doing a little bit of PSK here lately, and I think I'll send it back around to Net Control KO4TEC.
Alright, KJ7OMO, Net Control Station returning. A little tiny bit broken up on your transmission, but I was able to copy about 95% of it. Alright, well, it sucks that you are under the weather, but I do wish you a speedy recovery from whatever sickens you. And awesome on the radio activities. Anyways, we're gonna toss it back up to the top, VK3JED. Let's see if you've got a better connection, KJ7OMO.
Yeah, hopefully you can hear this better. We're having to use multiple devices with the co-pilot doing all the comms button pushing. Bit of a role reversal to what normally happens. Normally I'm doing the button pushing and someone else is driving, but yeah, I'm driving and I got the button pusher to look after. And yeah, a couple of things. Escalation for anything that I run won't be possible today, as there's still 2.5 to 3 hours of driving ahead, so the net will be well and truly over by then. But any issues, just drop in the NetOps in Discord so I can look at them later. And to the station that's going cross mode, I do strongly suggest that unless the modes use the same codec, which is basically YSF, NXDN and DMR, unless you're going between any of those, if you're going to any other mode, using the OpenSpot's transcoding ability, best not to, because the network already does internal transcoding. Best to go native on the mode that you've got. Will maximise audio quality across the network, would be my recommendation. Just a couple of things there. Anyway, KJ7OMO, the group VK3JD, under freeway conditions for the next couple of hours. Turn this one back on.
Alright, VK3JED, KJ7OMO returning. Much better audio, 100% copy, and yeah, you're sounding pretty good. And alright, well, drive safely. Don't get in a crash or anything. Alright, I don't have much else to say at the moment, so we'll toss it over to VK3PWJ, KJ7OMO, over to you.
Thank you, Kimberly. Yes, I'm the button pusher today. A bit of a change for me, not driving for a change on freeway conditions, but I'm enjoying sitting back and having the view. As I said before, it was a very good day down at Rosebud for the Hamfest that they had there, and quite a lot of people there from all over the place. Quite a lot of members from our club in Bendigo were there. Some of them were prize winners, which was always very nice for them, worth the trip. And the day itself has been very enjoyable. And as I said, Tony's session on M17 was well received and well attended. That's about it from me this round. KJ7OMO in the group, VK3PWJ.
All right, VK3PWJ KJ7 OMO returning. Also very good audio, and yes, it is fun to be the button pusher. Just don't push the one button that makes everything go kaboom. Okay? We don't need anything exploding. Hi. Unless you're like crazy enough to want to push such a button, but I still don't recommend it. Anyways, we'll toss it over to Whiskey Zero Delta Yankee Delta Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar. Alrighty, we'll try Whiskey Zero Delta Yankee Delta again, Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar. Alright, well, looks like we lost that station, so we'll try them again in a little while. November 4, November Yankee X-Ray, Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar, over to you.
Yeah, so, I also wanted to give my thanks to, the call sign, KO4TEZ for, making that contact with me the other night. It was pretty interesting trying to make that contact, and, if you're still listening on here, yeah, I wanted to give my thanks for that, and, glad I can make that work for you as well on your end. This is N4NYX, passing it back up to net control.
Alright, we're gonna toss it straight over to Kilo Oscar 4, Tango Echo Zulu, Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar. Oh, the mic is yours.
Alrighty, well, KO4TZ with the PRG net. Thanks for that, Sarah. Yeah, it was a little bit of a punch having to go between the two and then finally settle on 30 meters and make it work. But hey, once it did, it was smooth sailing from there. So, yeah, I guess it was just something in the way that the everything was probably getting around, and it just found a good opening with 30. Which makes the K3 PRG and your call actually make for the very first 30-meter contacts I've had. So kudos with that. And not a whole lot to really cover. I did before I started feeling a lot more under the weather than I am now. Mostly just sore throat now, but and stuffiness. But I did get out briefly and put up the 6'2" and 70 centimeter antenna, a little tri-band vertical I had, and got it up in the air. And I did actually pick up some 6-meter FT8 activity with that antenna. So that does seem to be working. And I did make a couple of adjustments on the radio with my wires, so did that also as well. Right now I'm currently in the process of trying to spin up another VPS and probably going to do some stuff on our club website, do some updates with it, and considering rolling a Mastodon instance for the club Although, granted, I'm not sure if they're going to use it or not. I did recently throw a Gideon instance out there so people could have a little code repository for club-related stuff. It'd be tied to the club domain, so people can make use of that. But for some reason, I still cannot get my SSL search to do right. Oh, the joys that is Cloudflare. Give it back to Net Control KO4TZ.
Alright, KO4TZ, KJ7OMO returning. That sounds like a lot of fun that you're involved in, and awesome on the antenna setup, and all the other stuff. And as for SSL stuff, I personally use Let's Encrypt for that, along with the acme.sh script, which you would need to specifically tell it that you want to use a Let's Encrypt certificate, since it uses something else by default. But yeah, that's what I use for my SSL needs, and it works fine for me. Alright, we're at the bottom of the list, so let's see if we have anyone else out there wishing to check in to the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net. All I need are your call signs, slowly, twice, and phonetically. And if you wish, you may give us your pronouns as well. This is Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar, and I will be standing by for more check-ins to the net. Alright, it doesn't look like we have anyone else at this time, but before I toss it back up to the top, let's make another call one more time, just to see if I spoke too soon. Anyone, anywhere, if you'd like to check in, please come now. Alright, no one else at this time, so we'll toss the mic back up to VK3JED along with the button pusher KJ7OMO.
Okay, Kimberley's making steady progress. You'll probably hear some sat-nav announcements because there is a little change of freeway to tollway here that's coming up in the next 30 seconds or so. Yeah, I can see the signs now. But no, as everyone else said, it was a good day at the Hamfest. Certainly enjoyed giving the talk. And take care, there we go, to M3 and eastling towards Dandenong. Yeah, see how you go. Just got to negotiate this. And definitely come down here again if the opportunity presents itself. It's a great setup, great show, and very well organised. Take the if you're ever down this part, for us it's a long trip. It's about 250 kilometres one way, or shall we say 150 odd miles, but it's worth the drive for us. And certainly enjoyed our time. Other than that, just checking out the M17 stuff. The modem still works, and that didn't get to demo, but I did play a bit of a YouTube from a previous demonstration. Anyway, KJ7OMO with the group VK3JD.
All right, VK3JED, KJ7OMO, returning. Yeah, that sounds good on the M17 stuff, and yeah, what else was I gonna say? Darn, I forgot, but, yeah, I didn't hear any of the GPS stuff, so I guess that got filtered out pretty good. Anyways, we're gonna toss it over to VK3PWJ, KJ7OMO.
Thank you, Kimberly. Yes, pretty much the same as last time, heading down the freeway. And the weather, we've had, I think, nearly 4 seasons. We're into rain now, whereas it was sunny 5 seconds ago. Looks like it's going to stay like this. And the road's got all the Sunday drivers, as we call them, erratic driving, changing lanes. Anyway, all is good. Hope you have had a good week, and we shall talk again on the next round. KJ7OMO, VK3, PWJ, returning.
Alrighty. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar returning. No comment at this time, so we're gonna see if Whiskey Zero Delta Yankee Delta is back with us. KJ7OMO. Whiskey Zero Delta Yankee Delta Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar. Alright, well, looks like that station is still not there, so we'll add strike number 2, and third strike will equal a checkout. November 4, November Yankee X-Ray, Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar, over to you.
Not sure I have much to say on this round. My apologies. I'll pass that back up to net control for the next one down the log.
Alrighty, not a problem. KO4TZ KJ7OMO, over to you.
Yeah, KO4TZ. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot else on it, Kimberly. Just right now, I'm about to go in here and try to set up these S1 backups, so it has secondary to go along with what's already set up for the NAS, which should have a couple more drives come in come Black Friday and Cyber Monday. I should going to try and do a couple of network upgrades and maybe, possibly, get the Home Lab 2.0 up and going. I've been putting quite a bit back, so I figure what better time to start the whole new year off is to upgrade the home network and all my self-hosted goodies. Send it back to Net Control KL4TEC.
Alrighty, that sounds awesome. KJ7OMO returning, and it looks like Victor Alpha 5 Echo Tango Hotel has some issues transmitting into the network, but we're gonna go ahead and call that station anyway and throw them on the list. Victor Echo 5 Echo Tango Hotel, Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar. Let's see if you can get in on the network. Alrighty, it looks like that station is still having issues getting in, so we'll check back with that station in just a little bit. Oh, wait a moment. They wish to try again, so Victor Alpha 5 Echo Tango Hotel, try again. Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar.
Victor Alpha 5 Echo Tango Hotel. Am I audible? Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you a little bit overmodulated, but we do hear you. All right. Well, we heard you for a bit, but if you're trying to come back, we're not hearing anything now. So we'll give it one more try and see what happens.
Victor Alpha 5 Echo Tango Hotel. Hi. I think I fixed it. Yeah. Let me get further away from my microphone. That should fix the overmodulation. Yeah, hi, I'm here. Back to Kimberly, I guess.
Alrighty, alright, you're sounding pretty good now. Victor Alpha 5 Echo Tango Hotel, Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar. Alright, well, we'll call you back in just a little bit. Alright, we've reached the bottom of the list, so let's see if there's anybody out there wishing to check in to the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net. All I need are your call signs slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, you may give us your pronouns as well. Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar, standing by for check-ins. Alrighty, do we have anybody wishing to check in to the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net? Anyone, anywhere. All I need are your call signs, slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, you may give us your pronouns as well. Let's see if there's anybody else out there wishing to check in. Please come now. Alrighty, no one else is out there at this time, so we're gonna toss it all the way back up to the top. VK3JED, whose GPS is probably saying weird things like, left turn at 50 meters, waypoint in 15 meters, make a U-turn. Hey, you've gone too far, make a U-turn. VK3JED, over to you, KJ7OMO.
Okay, Kimberly, and yeah, you managed to get another interchange, so yeah, we're doing well here. Yeah, it's just a coincidence that yeah, we've had two interchanges over the last two overs, just yeah, and just about to come out of it, but yeah, making good progress, although some strange driving going on here, but 8 kilometres. Get straight on. Yeah, there we go. So we'll be on here for a while, as you may or may not have heard. Other than that, certainly radio-wise, not a lot this week, since the presentation's done and dusted. And, yeah, I think I mentioned we had a fair bit of interest, so not much else to add there. Pete's covered the weather. Don't know where all the other stations are gone. I think some stopped for lunch, and the rest, yeah, just seem to have disappeared. But yeah, all good. Yeah, and I think that's Ethel. Good afternoon to you. And yeah, you're coming in quite well once you backed off from the mic, starting to sound quite good there. So that's all good. Everything, touch wood, is mostly working. I'll have a look in NetOps if there's any problems reported and fix them later tonight. KJ7OMO with the group, VK3JED.
Alright, VK3JED, KJ7OMO returning. Speaking of problems, looks like one station had trouble connecting to the Pride conference, but there are a few other stations connected that say that there are no problems. And even I tested it, no problem on my end, so it's likely an internet trouble with that one station. So, yeah, I don't think there's anything going on with the Pride conference. But just to be on the safe side, probably a good idea to just to give it a quick look over. All right, VK3PWJ KJ7OMO, over to you.
Thank you, Kimberly. VK3PWJ returning. Yeah, well, the traffic is now building, so as we're approaching the city from the southern end of Melbourne. Still a fair way out, but traffic's certainly building on the freeways as people are going about their Sunday touring or visiting or whatever they're doing. Seems to be pretty consistent, it doesn't matter what day. I'm heading off to another city tomorrow, to Adelaide in South Australia. So getting around a bit this week to other places, catching up with family and grandchildren, etc., etc., and looking forward to the catch-up. So I won't be doing much else this week except that until I get back later in the week, back to Bendigo. So plans this week. That's about it for this round. The K3 PWJ, back to you.
Alrighty, VK3PWJ, KJ7 OMO returning, so it looks like you've got a lot on your plate, and yeah, it's always good to see the family. Unless the entire family hates you, of course. But yeah, it's always good to see family. Alright, we're gonna try Whiskey Zero Delta Yankee Delta for the last time. Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar. Let's see if that station is back with us. Alright, well, looks like Tony's button pusher must have pushed the button again by accident. Anyways, it's all good. We're gonna try Whiskey Zero Delta Yankee Delta for one last time. Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar. Alrighty, but it looks like that station is gone, so we're going to go ahead and mark them as a checkout, and they are, of course, welcome to check back in anytime. November 4, November, Yankee X-Ray, Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar. We'll send the mic over to you.
Sure either what to say this round. I suppose I can make fun of all the VK call signs on the net today being at, seemingly being at the radio festival. Just if there's something to do for an amateur radio nerd down there, that'd be it. I guess the other thing that I've got on my mind is the Sunday being the actual Trans Day of Remembrance, what exactly I want to do for that. And I know VK3FUR was talking about generating is from a list of sadly deceased trans people from the past year as part of that remembrance, and I might end up doing something similar, but I don't know. I probably need to chat that on the Discord a little bit more to wrap my head around exactly how I want to do that, if I'm going to do that. We'll toss that back up the next timed out the radio right on that second. Tossing that back up the net control. This is November 4, November Yankee X-Ray.
Alrighty. November 4, November, Yankee X-ray, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. Yeah, definitely we should coordinate that on the Discord and see how we could pull it off. I might try and do something like that on my end as well. I don't know. I have not decided if I want to follow through with it, but we'll see. We'll see what we can do on the Discord. Kilo Oscar 4, Tango Echo Zulu. We'll toss it back over to you. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. Kilo Oscar 4, Tango Echo Zulu, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. Oh, never mind. It looks like CJ is being summoned on a local club repeater, so we'll try CJ again here in just a bit. And it looks like Victor Alpha 5 Echo Tango Hotel reported another audio issue, but we're gonna call them anyway just to see if they were able to get back. Victor Alpha 5 Echo Tango Hotel, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. Already, it looks like Ethel said on Discord that QTEL just bricked the audio device, and now I can't hear anything, and the speaker's not working. Those are Ethel's words on Discord. Alright, well, hopefully they get their audio thing working again, and but at the next go around. Alright, we're at the bottom of the list, so let's see if we have anybody else out there wishing to check in to the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net. All I need are your call signs, slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, you may give us your pronouns as well. This is Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar, and I will be standing by for more check-ins to the net. Alright, Kilo Oscar 4 Tango Echo Zulu said, club business to attend to. I'll probably be a while. We'll be back later. Not a problem, CJ. We will mark you as checked out, and And you're more than welcome to check back in anytime. Do we have anybody else out there wishing to check in at this time? Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar standing by. Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and toss it back up to VK3JED KJ70MO.
Okay, Kimberley. Just getting close to the city now. Only a couple of minutes off going through the tunnel that crosses under the Yarra River. If you look at Melbourne, this one's the westbound, the main tunnel. So I might make this a final. Traffic's starting to get a little heavier now. Still moving, but there's a lot of people doing some crazy stuff out there. So I might focus a bit more on the road from here. Not a lot else to add, but good to catch up with everyone. And it was also good to see.
This morning, it's been a great day out. Pushing a little bit. And then once making out of Melbourne, the more complicated side of logistics takes over as well. KJ Farmo, the group, VK3JD.
Alrighty, Tony. Well, drive safely, and thanks for hanging out with us as always, and I shall say 7-3 to you. Victor Kilo 3, Papa Whiskey Juliet, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. We'll toss the mic over to you.
Thank you, VK3PWJ returning. Likewise, I'll probably make this my last as well. Had a good day, as we've said. Thank you for running the net, Kimberley, and for struggling with the complexities of connection, which I'm sure you do very well at. That's about it from me for today, so I shall pass it back to you, KJ7OMO VK3PWJ.
Alrighty, VK3PWJ, KJ7OMO returning. Thanks for hanging out with us, and 7-3, and enjoy the rest of your drive, or your ride, to your destination. Alright, November 4, November Yankee X-Ray, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. We'll toss it over to you.
This is N4NYX here. I guess to continue on like my own thinking through what to do for Trans Day of Remembrance is there are quite a few names to go through, and thinking of doing slow V for each one of them. Actually, then again, it depends on which list you're going by. If you're going for international or a United States-centric list. The United States list is a little bit shorter and could probably get through more easily on SSTV, but with each one of those taking a good few seconds to send and not trying to jam the frequency too much, might be a bit much, or send out on a digital mode, like keyboard-to-keyboard mode, or JS8, or PSK31, or something like that. That's what I'm thinking so far, but I don't know. Like I said, should probably discuss it on the Discord, give some more voices on the matter. Well, I expect the net control.
Alrighty, N4NYX KJ7OMO returning. It would be best to use digital modes to spit those names out, because if you're going to try and do it over SSTV, well, SSTV is low resolution, so you only have like 320 by 240, I think. I think I'm wrong, but it's somewhere around there. That's the amount of resolution you're going to get, and you're not able to fit very many names in there. So yeah, you're going to be doing a heavy amount of SSTV to get all the names out there, and you'll be jamming the frequency for quite a few hours. So it's probably better to, in my opinion anyway, to do it via digital modes. And as for lists, a US list or an international list? That's a good question. Probably an international list, maybe, if you're willing to sit for a while and let that transmit out. But, anyways, golly, it's so terrible to have more names added to that list. Hopefully we don't have to add any more next year, but it is what it is. Let's see if Victor Alpha 5 Echo Tango Hotel is back with us. Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar. Alright, we'll try Victor Alpha 5 Echo Tango Hotel one more time. Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar. Alrighty, well, we'll check back with that station in just a little while. Alrighty, folks, we've reached the bottom of the list one more time, so I'll put out a call for more check-ins to the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net. We would love to have you on board, so if you would like to check in, all I need are your call signs slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, you may give us your pronouns as well. This is Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar, she, her, and I will be standing by for more check-ins to the net. Alrighty, do we have anybody else out there wishing to check in to the net? All I need are your call signs slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, you may give us your pronouns as well. Come on, folks, don't be shy. Pick up your mics and say hi. Alright, KJ70MO standing by. Well, it looks like it's all crickets out there. Crickets, 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 and more crickets. Oh, it looks like I do see somebody hopping on NetLogger, but are they going to stick around for the net, or are they going to hop out? I don't know, but we'll find out what happens. In the meantime, it looks like it's going to be the Kimberly and Sarah show for a little while. Hi. November 4, November, Yankee X-Ray, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar. Over to you. Okay, November 4, November Yankee X-ray, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar.
Yep, this is N4NYX here. To respond to images, Dia was seeded by VK3FUR saying about generating images, and then also one list I got from translivesmatter.info on the web also includes pictures of each one, and if I calculate correctly, based off of their list of about 75 individuals, sending one image every 10 minutes would take about 12 hours. Technically doable, but that eats up the whole day for sure versus doing a digital mode. Definitely up for consideration there. Maybe leaning towards digital. Anyway, that's it for me on this round, and for NYX, back up the net control.
Alrighty, N4NYX, KJ7OMO returning. Yeah, that's gonna take an awful long time, 12 hours, yikes, and there's no guarantee that you'll be able to get all the images out there, because you know how the band conditions are. I mean, one moment they're great, the next moment they're totally wiped out. But I'm pretty sure you'll figure something out. It's starting to become real lonely on the net now. Let's see if Victor Alpha 5 Echo Tango Hotel is back with us. Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar. Nope, still having issues with their audio. Alright, we're at the bottom of the list, so let's see if there's anyone else out there wishing to check into the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net. Come now with your call signs slowly, twice, and phonetically, and optionally your pronouns as well. And this also includes people who are previously checked in. You're more than welcome to check back in anytime. So, anyone, anywhere, I will be standing by for your check-ins.
VK3JD, recheck, just got a question.
Alrighty, VK3JED, go ahead, KJ7OMO. VK3 JED KJ7 OMO. Go ahead with your question.
Yeah, Kimberly, just curious what Sarah's on. We can't hear her here. Certainly not on M17, and we don't think Echolink either. You can hear yourself and everyone else okay, that's been nice, but yeah, nothing from N4NYX, KJ7OMO, VK3JD.
Huh, that is so weird. Well, I hear Sarah perfectly fine. Huh. And you're hearing me perfectly fine. So, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Huh. Yeah, that is so strange. We'll toss it back over to Sarah. November 4, November, Yankee X-ray, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar.
And for NYX here, best info I've got is that I'm on the free DMR network right now, and not knowing how the network's set up, I've got no further hypothesis than to provide that kind of information. Back to net control.
All right, back to VK3 JED. Were you able to hear any of Sarah's transmissions? She stated that she is currently coming in through free DMR talk group 969, and I could hear her perfectly fine. Back over to you, Tony.
Yeah, nothing heard here. That's very odd because I think they've got to go down the same signal path. Yeah, because I think you're an all-star, aren't you? That's the other question, what you're on, but yeah, nothing heard at this end. I can't troubleshoot, obviously, but it's got me baffled. I think we've got to restart the system when I get back, because when I was installing MREF, I may have killed something due to out of memory. IPv6 support died, I know that much, so yeah, I think I've got to do a restart anyway when I get back. KJ7 Moby, K3JD.
Alright, copy that. Yeah, I'm not sure of the problem. I mean, I'm on All-Star at the moment, and I could hear Sarah, no problem. She's coming in through the DMR talk group, so... and I know that the bridge to the All-Star network and other networks are working, so, yeah, I don't know what the problem is. Strange. Makes me wonder if somehow her call sign got on the mute list somehow. That could be the only thing I could think of. Probably an accidental muting or blocking of her call sign. Well, hopefully that gets sorted, because, yeah, problems like this are no fun. We'll toss it back over to November 4, November, Yankee X-ray, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar.
Not sure what much else to add other than into the specific DMR master that I'm hooked into, which is FreeDMR San Francisco's node. Looks like it's going into that just fine, but whatever it's doing after that, no idea from my mind. Looks like also my FreeDMR masters heard Tony, Peter, coming through the talk group with IDs and everything. So yeah, it's kind of curious. I can hear y'all as well, just fine. Nothing more to add other than that, and we'll toss it back up to net control.
Alrighty, KJ70MO returning, and to relay that over to you, Tony, she is going through the FreeDMR San Francisco node at the moment, and she has no trouble hearing you or anyone else on the net. So, yeah, strange issue indeed. We should definitely troubleshoot when you get home, and I'll be standing by for that. Let's see if Victor Alpha 5 Echo Tango Hotel is back with us. Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar, Mike Oscar.
Whiskey Zero Delta Yankee Delta, a recheck with.
Alright, well, looks like we lost Victor Alpha 5 Echo Tango Hotel, so we're gonna mark that station as a checkout, and they are more than welcome to return. And it looks like we have a recheck from Whiskey Zero Delta Yankee Delta. Welcome back. We'll toss it over to you.
KJ711 from W0DYD. Very good. Yes, I was just wondering, since this is my first time on Fusion here, if there's anyone that can give me a little rundown on any of the reflectors that are a little more popular as far as making contacts are concerned, such as DMR 91 and 93 are very popular, and D-Star on 01 Charlie and 30 Charlie. We haven't heard much on here in the past, so this is the first time we're getting some signals through here. Anyway, if you have the information, I would appreciate that. Thank you, W0DYD.
Alrighty, W0DYD KJ7OMO returning. System Fusion, yes, and I see you're coming in through the YSF reflector, so you're going through the open source network rather than the proprietary network. So let's see, the only two that I know of that have a lot of traffic are America Link and CQ UK. And if you were on the proprietary WiresX network, then the All Juliet Alpha, All Japan CQ room also has plenty of activity there as well. But the most popular right now is America Link and also the CQ UK room. Let's see. I don't know what the YSF reflector number is for America Link or the other one. I do know the WiresX number to it, which if there was a proprietary WiresX repeater near you, then the node number to that one is 21080, but I'm going to go ahead and look up the node number to the YSF version of America Link, which is bridged with the WiresX and DMR as well. So I will go ahead and look that up and get back with you on that here shortly. Already, before I toss it back up to the top, do we have anybody else out there wishing to check in at this time? Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar standing by. Alrighty, we have nobody else around at this time, and to W0DYD, I have found the node number to the YSF reflector room. So the YSF reflector room number for America Link is 32592. That is 32592 for the hotspot version of America Link. And they also have a Brandmeister talk group, which is 31656. Brandmeister talk group 31656 is also another way you can get into America Link as well. hopefully this helps. We're gonna toss it back up to the top of the list. I don't know if VK3JED wanted to stay checked in or not, so we'll toss it back up to VK3JED KJ7OMO.
Yeah, okay, Kimberly, we're just trying something different at this end, so we'll see if we can hear Sarah this time around. We're still transmitting on M17, but we're going to receive on through my own local DMR master, which I can access via DroidStar. DroidStar doesn't seem to like free DMR, but it will access this master fine. Anyway, KJ7OMO with the group, VK3JD.
Alrighty, VK3JED, KJ7OMO returning. Fingers crossed that you'll be able to hear Sarah. Alright, well, we're going to maintain the order of the list as I always have it. So the next station, according to the original list, is Whiskey Zero Delta Yankee Delta. So we're going to toss it back over to Gary, Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar, Mike Oscar.
WRD here, and thank you for those links. Copy those down, so we'll give them a try, and appreciate the information there. Otherwise, we'll be checking out here, so thanks much, and good to meet you there. KJ7OMO, WRD will.
Alright, well, it looks like your signal abruptly cut out there, so I didn't catch the end of it. Could you run that by me again? W0DYD KJ7OMO.
This WRDYD. Okay, yeah, I was just saying, thanks for the links. We copied those down, and we'll give those a try. And we'll be checking out here for the evening, so thank you very much for letting us get into the net there. KJ7OMO, W0DYD.
Alrighty. Thank you for stopping by, N73, and I also found the node number, the YSF reflector node number to the CQ UK room. That one is 27793. Once again, 27793 for the CQ UK room. And if you have and if your radio is capable of using the search function on the WiresX protocol, then you can initiate that and do a search. And the Pi-Star will also give you a list of different rooms that that you could connect to through the interface. And if you go to register.ysfreflector.delta-echo, that's register.Yankee Sierra Foxtrot reflector.delta-echo, that also provides a list of all of the YSF reflector rooms, and if you were to look at on the list where it says count, you can be able to see how many nodes are connected to that one room, and you can be able to just dial that in from your radio and see who's out there. Anyway, 7-3 once again, and thanks for hanging out with us on the net. November 4, November Yankee X-Ray. We'll toss it back over to you. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar.
I'm not sure I have much to add on this particular round through, or at least I haven't thought of anything till this exact moment. Think I will pass that back up. Actually, I guess I can comment that it seems like the Pride Radio Network conference, the Pride isn't sending audio, but the KJ7 TAC L is sending audio over Echolink right now. Since was asking if there were Echolink problems, there seems to be that right now, and I know that you mentioned that earlier to another call sign, but maybe just to reiterate, if CA5ETH is listening, that, yeah, I was able to test that on my end. I will send that back up to Net Control, November 4, November Yankee X-Ray.
Alright, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar returning. Yeah, I did some quick silence tests on the Echolink side on the Pride conference, and yeah, I could definitely see a problem. It looks like no traffic is being routed into that conference, but when I hit the transmit button on the conference, there is traffic coming in. So it looks like we got the one-way traffic bug again. And maybe there's... Yeah, I don't know, but it looks like the gremlin, whatever it is, it's attacking something in the network. These gremlins do not know when to let up. Anyways, hopefully Tony has heard you. We're gonna go ahead and toss it back up to Tony real quick. VK3JED KJ7OMO.
Sorry about that. Just a little bit distracted with a key problem just as you handed over. We pulled up at a roadhouse for a quick stop. Yeah, we're right. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, I'm coming in through DMR on my own master, which hooks straight into the main bridge, and yeah, Sarah's coming through fine here. So yeah, the test was successful. So yeah, looks like there's a couple of odd audio bridging issues. I don't think we need a reboot. I must have messed it up a bit yesterday and decided we went on this time. I just kept doing a quick look, but yeah, wasn't obvious. Anyway, I'm going to put it down. I will check out this time. And yeah, we'll say 7-3. I'll catch you on Discord later tonight. KJ7OMO, the group VK3JED, and cheers all.
Alright, Tony, well, there's a lot of very low rumbling noises at the towards the end of your transmission that drowned you out completely, but I did got the gist of everything. Alrighty, well, we'll go ahead, for those who are on the Pride conference, we'll go ahead and just relay for right now. Anyways, 7-3 again, Tony, and we'll see you later on Discord. November 4, November Yankee X-Ray, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar.
I mean, I will say in slight fairness to Echolink that nowhere in the documentation does it say that it's meant to be cross-linked to other modes. So, so on that, I suppose. Yeah, definitely interesting to have bugs keep recurring each week. I think that's it for me this round. We'll pass that back up to net control. This is November.
Yeah, got you there. Well, none of the modes are really meant to be cross-talking with each other, but, well, we can make it happen. There are ways, that there are ways we could make them cross-talk. Anyways, alright, we're at the bottom of the list, so let's see if we have anybody else out there wishing to check into the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net, or if anybody previously checked in would like to return. So, new check-ins, returning check-ins, does not matter, anyone, anywhere. If you'd like to check into the Worldwide Pride Net, also known as the Pride Radio Group Net, all I need are your call signs, slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, you may give us your pronouns as well. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar, she, her, standing by for more check-ins. My voice is starting to go out on me. Alrighty, well, all I heard was a kerchunk from VK2BSD. Were you trying to check in? Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar. I guess not. Do we have anybody out there wishing to check in at this time? KJ7OMO standing by. Alrighty, well, looks like it's just you and I, Sarah. Back over to you. KJ7OMO.
Yeah, I suppose that does make the two of us. Yeah, looking at NetLogger, looks quite to be that way. Yeah, not sure what much more I can say on that other than suppose it'll be interesting here pretty soon that it's got somebody who's asking if I can help set up Echolink for their side of stuff, or consult or do some testing to make an Echolink conference happen. And we'll see if I run into many of the same issues, or maybe not, since the scope isn't quite as wide as Pride Radio Network. We'll toss that back to you, Kimberly. This is N4NYX.
Alrighty. Well, I'm going to go ahead and put out one last call for check-ins, and if we don't get anybody else, I'll go ahead and shut the net down, but if you'd like, we can continue on as a normal conversation for an afternet party before we hook into Puget Sound, which will be about an hour and 45 minutes from now, I think, or is it an hour and 15 minutes from now? Yeah, I think an hour and 15 minutes from now, because they start at 9 p.m. Pacific, and it is 7:45 p.m. Pacific right now. So, anyways, do we have anybody else out there wishing to check in? We're gonna go ahead and make this the last call. Do we have anybody else out there wishing to check in? All I need are your call signs slowly, twice, and phonetically, and if you wish, you may give us your pronouns as well. Anyone, anywhere, please come now. Alrighty, well, no sense in keeping a net going with just the two of us, so I'm gonna go ahead and close the net, but we can informally continue on. Alrighty, folks, that is a wrap. I would like to thank all of you for participating and having fun on this net. I would like to It's kind of hard to follow with this script when two of the repeaters aren't hooked on at this moment. I would like to thank VK3JED and VK2WAY as well as the rest of the Pride Radio group for making this net and this network possible. I now return all frequencies, repeaters, and other systems back to their abnormal abuse. I mean, normal amateur use. 7-3 to all the netters from Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar. And with that out of the way, the net is now closed, and we shall informally continue on as just a normal rag chew. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar. We'll hand it back to you, Sarah.
I'm trying to test the theory here. It looks like, yeah, believe I'm still connected to the Echolink conference, and it does look to be finally getting some audio through, so that's interesting that it's doing that now. I don't know if Tony VK3 was there earlier, but working on my end there. Hi. We'll give that back to you. This is N4X.
Alrighty, well, I did make a quick connection, and I did hear some audio, so, you know what, I'm gonna make another connection real quick and try and transmit from there. One moment. Alright, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar, testing via the Echolink conference. Yep, I hear myself, so I will switch back to All-Star. Alright, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar, transmitting from All-Star. Yep, I hear myself coming through the Echolink bridge. Okay, back over to you, Sarah. KJ7OMO. Back over to you, Sarah. KJ7OMO.
Yep, I'm hearing that both ways too, and definitely a little bit interesting to notice that DMR always lags Echolink just a little bit. Hi. What else to informally talk about other than setting up Echolink conferences looks a little bit weird from the outside, and I'm not sure if I'm going to go that far for some of the testing that this other person group wants me to try to do. Is if I can get multiple people that can connect to just my regular node and not have to mess with trying to run a conference but not have it officially be a conference because I don't want to send $40 to Echolink, we'll see what happens there. Hi. N4NYX, back to you, Kimberly, KJ7OMO.
Alrighty, KJ7OMO returning. Yeah, I don't blame you. I mean, I don't want to pay the $40 for the conference either. Well, you can set up the Echolink client, whatever Echolink client you're running, to actually accept a whole bunch of connections as if it was a conference. You just need to set it up in the configuration or the settings. I'm not sure what program you're using, but you can configure it to take up to 99 connections. Or, well, that's on the official Echolink client anyway, though. Third-party Echolink clients, they see, I'm not sure which ones, but I know the Echolink client that's built into All-Star, that seems to allow you to configure it for as many Echolink clients as you want, way past 99, so I don't know what the absolute maximum limit is. Or even if the network itself will let you go past 99, but it seems like, at least with the All-Star anyway, you can make it go above 99, at least on the configuration. Back over to you.
As far as I was reading into that, it doesn't look like the protocol limitation of how many. It's more of a bandwidth limitation, and if the client developers want to put a limit on that, maybe prevent issues. Let me see here. Oh, yeah, and then I was also going to comment, I'll be surprised if I get more than 5 people, especially for inaugural week of trying things out, testing things out. We'll have to see there, and it definitely might be worth checking out doing it over All-Star that presents an Echolink node instead of only using an Echolink software, since, as I understand, All-Star it opens an ability for more different repeaters, if I understand that correctly. Back to you, Kimberly. This is in November 4, November Yankee X-Ray.
Yeah, KJ7OMO returning. Yes, that is correct. You're better off using the All-Star software because you get to have the best of both worlds on it. You get to have the All-Star network and have access to that, and an Echolink network comes bundled with the All-Star, so you get to have access to Echolink, you get to have access to All-Star, everything, both networks in one neat little package, and that opens up a lot of doors and a lot of possibilities for you. So yeah, All-Star would be the way to go, in my opinion, for what you want to do. Back to you.
Yeah, I guess when it comes to All-Star, I do wish I had more previous experience until just like the last few days of researching, since I do have SVX Link working with Echolink as like local RS either crossband repeater or simplex link, but I haven't poked much at anything with All-Star so far other than a brief reading of some documentation, and yeah, that might not happen before tomorrow when we inaugural test, but the situation is basically there's a group that already has a digital net, but they don't have anything for anyone who's stuck with analog stuff, and they're figuring having a sort of informal Sunday brunch sort of net for the analog folk might be a good idea instead of leaving them out completely. This is tossing it back to you, Kimberly. This is November 4, November Yankee X-Ray.
Yeah, copy that. Okay, so since we have both digital and analog folks checking in, how are we gonna do this? You're gonna have to somehow connect to the connect your analog thing to the digital side of their network in order to make it work. And if they are coming in through different digital modes, then, well, you'll have to add bridging on top of that. Oh boy. If need be, then, y'all are welcome just to do a quick test on on our network, real quick, just to see if, having the bridge is worth it for them, and if it is, then we could try and help you get a bridge going with the digital modes, analog to digital modes. It's something to think about, anyways. Back to you.
I suppose correction is that cross-linking between the digital net and a future Echolink All-Star sort of net. Cross-bridging or cross-linking is not within scope so far. The idea so far has been to have that as a separate net. And that's within the realm of reason to start testing, that's for sure. Not sure if they would want to cross-link them, especially given how Echolink by default says, no, please don't. And then also, their digital talk group, I believe, is on Brandmeister, and we all know how that goes. So it might be best to just say, hey, maybe don't put cross-linking within scope. It's not so far, but you never know. We'll toss that back to you. This is my ex.
Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar returning. Yeah, you got a good point there. We have a Brandmeister to worry about. Because they do not take kindly to bridging, especially if the bridging is to third-party DMR networks. Or if some random person decides to bridge that their Brandmeister approved bridge to a different network over to a network that Brandmeister doesn't approve without the knowledge of the any of the node owners involved with that, then they'll Brandmeister will get all over the node owner, even though it's not their fault that the bridge happened. So yeah, it's probably best to avoid all bridges with Brandmeister involved. So yeah, probably best just to keep the two nets separate then. Pretty much your only option at this point. Back to you.
Yeah, that's basically what I've been thinking of. And then, figuring All-Star just to make it more possible for more people to be able to link in who might be using repeaters in their local towns, and doing things like how I've got my own Echolink node set up, and essentially just a hotspot, but for Echolink. Hi. But yeah, I don't know, I wish I looked into that a little bit earlier. So far they've only asked for Echolink, but yeah, there's no reason not to do All-Star at the very least, and yeah, we'll see how that goes. If anything, it's an interesting excuse to learn, as I like to put it sometimes. We'll toss that back to you. This is N4NYX here.
Yeah, copy that. Well, you won't learn unless you don't try it. So yeah, it does not hurt at all to, give it a try. I mean, if anything, if it doesn't work for them, then at least it gives you more experience, and who knows, maybe you're gonna want to have a All-Star Echolink node for your own purposes. So yeah, I'd say go for it anyways. Regardless if it works for the club or not, I say go for it. Because yeah, it's definitely a fun little project. That is for certain. And plus, you've got a whole bunch of us who are experienced with All Star that knows how to set it up. So yeah, you could definitely come to us. For any assistance that you might need for that. KJ7OMO, back to you.
Right. I can't think of anything else back on that topic, but I kind of wanted to circle back a little bit to Trans Day of Remembrance, and I kind of thought of one concern that with the fact that there are some folk out there who are listening to the radio who might have the worst opinions of that sort of thing. I almost wonder if putting out a list of the recently passed in the last year or so might be treated more by some of the more hateful folk as sort of like a, I don't know how to say this without sounding so terribly weird, but almost like a scoreboard for them. It's kind of weird to balance a bit, I suppose. I'll toss that back to you for thoughts. This is N4NYX.
Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar, returning via system fusion this time, because my back's giving me trouble from being leaned towards the computer for a bit too long, so now I have to lean back, which puts me out of reach of my computer controls, but that's okay, at least I have my radio. But, yeah, that is... I don't know. I mean, yeah, there's always going to be someone out there who will, who does not take kindly at all to the trans and other LGBTQIA plus communities. So, yeah, the only thing you can do is just, I don't know, I mean, if that's, maybe proceed anyway, I guess. I mean, it doesn't really matter if, it doesn't really matter what they do or think, because even if they don't come across the list through the radio, they'll still come across it anyway through other means. So I'd say just do it anyway, and if they want to raise heck about it, oh well. KJ7OMO, back to you.
Yeah, I suppose that's definitely one way of looking at it, that, in some ways, my own transmissions are out into the void, their own transmissions are out into the void, and it's just a matter of who chooses to receive whose side of the conversation in a way. Just, like, I've done the SSTV and running the K3PRG call sign earlier this week, and that's been a bit more tame in my own head, since it's not dealing with the more sensitive subject of remembering and honoring the dead from the past year, basically. Yeah, my brain just kind of brings up a certain increase in caution and sensitivity towards that sort of subject matter. But I don't know, I suppose it's kinder to give them homage than to not. One way or the other there. Timed out radio there, so apologies, and we'll toss that back to you. This is November 4, November Yankee X-Ray.
November 4, November Yankee X-ray, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar returning. Yeah, I think it's an important thing to give those folks homage. So yeah, yeah. Once again, I just say go for it. I mean, if anybody wants to give you any grief about it, you could either just ignore them and keep transmitting anyway, or if they are jamming the frequency and preventing you from transmitting any further data, then you can go ahead and just move to a different frequency and carry on from there. And if they happen to follow you around, then well, it looks like you got a lot of hopping around then. But either way, it'll still get done regardless of how hard they are trying to stop you. Back to you.
Yeah, for sure, and I can't help but laugh that it shows more to their character than anything if somebody wants to jam the whole frequency for everyone over just one voice on the frequency. Hi, especially if it was something like JS8 and where it's only that 50 kilohertz bandwidth, but if they wanted to go ahead and take a few kilohertz out, then I don't know, I would kind of just laugh at the absurdity of that and how they're choosing to break FCC laws in retaliation to just some words. But, definitely we'll see how that goes. And also kind of thinking like exactly what I want to say as well. I'm thinking to just keep it as simple as to honoring the passing of name this Trans Day of Remembrance and ID with call sign or something like that, and keep some details out of it. Reset radio there, and keeping details out, maybe not inviting too much of an inflammatory conversation there, just keeping it at simply honoring name on this Trans Day of Remembrance. We'll send that back to you, Kimberly. This is November 4, November Yankee X-ray.
November 4, November Yankee X-ray, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar, returning. Yeah, copy that. I know at least a few times I was calling out on HF, and there would be someone who would come in without a call sign. They would play some really obnoxious and obscene recordings on top of my frequency that I'm on. Well, it's not technically my frequency, but you get what I mean. It's on top of the frequency that I'm on, and they would play some really nasty stuff like, I cannot even repeat it on the air, but basically saying that I am a gay guy and asking if I wanted to give them a certain kind of oral activity and whatnot, and those recordings would just play over and over and over again, like and a bunch of other stuff. It was really nasty. It was homophobic and transphobic and really nasty. So I wound up having to switch frequencies because they were jamming the frequency I was on quite hard. And that happened on 40 meters, and then there was another time on 80 meters where I was calling out CQ. Then all of a sudden, 3 old men piled up on the frequency, and they started bad-mouthing me about being trans and all that, and then they started talking crap about me amongst themselves, so I had to leave the frequency and go somewhere else. KJ7OMO, back to you.
Yeah, I suppose it's one lesson that's learned with radio as well, is that if something's not quite according to what you like on the bands, then you can always tune the dial. Whether honestly, it should be on them to just turn the dial and not come up on your frequency. As an alternative to that preferred action, then yeah, we can always turn the dial or come back after waiting for us to come back or something along those lines. I would say that I've been glad to be able to use the K3PRG call sign for doing some of those activities this past week, just out of sort of a caution of not wanting to draw too much undue attention to my own personal call sign there. This is November 4, November Yankee X-ray, passing it back to you.
Yeah, copy that. Sometimes when I hear these homophobes say something and I want to say something, give them a piece of my mind, then yeah, I would just use the K3PRG call sign and tell them what I think. And the funny thing is, they often think that I am the person that is the trustee of that call sign, even though I make it quite clear that I am on a club call sign, and that I am not the trustee, but somehow they remain convinced that I am. That actually happened. Or that's what I did. It's so funny. And then another time where I used the club call again to get into a conversation that a couple of weird folks were having, and yeah, that was also a weird, awkward conversation as well, and they also thought I was the trustee, even though I'm not, and I made it obvious that I'm just using the club call, but yeah, so weird. And one of them even wanted to what was it that they wanted to do? Shoot, I forgot what they wanted to do. Yeah, it left me. Back over to you. N4NYXKJ7OMO. Uh-oh, did I lose you, Sarah? Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Mike Oscar.
This is N4NYX. Thought I lost you there for a second, but I'm hearing you this time around just fine. Missed a little bit of the last bit of the last transmission you were on that you were responding to me with. We'll pass that back to you to finish that comment, and yeah, this is N4NYX.
Alrighty, well, I don't, I lost track of what I said there, but yeah, there was a few times where I used the club call to, either, say some comments to some homophobes or, try and break into a weird conversation that someone was having, but I'm not too comfortable with giving my actual call sign, so yeah, I would use the club call to for that sometimes. And yeah, funny thing is they think that I am the trustee whenever I do that, even though I make it quite clear that I am just someone else using the club call, but whatever. Back to you.
Yeah, with Slow Scan TV this past week, it's been interesting. I only got one response to something sent out on K3PRG there, and that was one homophobic comment, and I believe I responded to them with overlaid text saying we exist whether you like it or not, which is just a factual statement, but also trying not to be too inflammatory either, but didn't see them say anything back, and they just resumed the spamming the frequency with their own stuff later on. The only other response I got this week was when I was using a personal call sign to just sanity check, hey, I'm transmitting correct, right? Like, it's getting picked up somewhere with the web SDR, right? And, I don't know, I kind of like that one since, you know, I just sent a cat picture, they sent a dog picture, it was all in good fun. That was on personal call sign, though. So I think I only have one SSTV contact. I'm not even sure I want to put down on the club log there, since it's not even like they gave me an RST or RSV or anything else. They just had a mean comment to say. So that was interesting from this past week with the slow scan. We'll give that back to you. This is November 4, November Yankee.
Yeah, copy that. Well, since you technically made contact with them, I believe you will need to put it in the log, but you can make a note of it saying that they were responding with mean comments, and it's likely that the mean station isn't going to log your contact anyway. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so probably a good idea just to send it over to the club anyways. That way all of us can see who they are and avoid them if we can. But yeah, it really sucks that people out there want to be mean, but you know, just keep on transmitting anyways, whether they like it or not. We're here. We exist, like what you said. There's this one thing I always like telling them. How does it go? I can't think of it unless I type it out. So I'll toss it back over to you for now. N4NYX KJ7OMO.
I mean, if I really wanted to deny them the contact, I mean, the actual received image on my receiving station didn't actually show a legible call sign. I only caught it since saw their call sign on the air before and was also web SDRs at the same time. But you make a good point about also having it known within the club, like, hey, this guy, yeah. We'll have to submit that one through for sure, and we'll toss that back to you. This is November 4, November Yankee X-Ray.
KF4TZ chime.
All right, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar returning and acknowledging KO4TEZ. The net is over with, but we're just having an informal conversation now. And, well, since they didn't, respond to you with anything, or you didn't get a comment, then, yeah, then I wouldn't worry about, adding them to the log, though, they'll probably still be a good idea if you were able to see their call sign, just to give us a heads up who they are. That way we could add them to the do not call list. And I'll probably even ban them from our network as well if if I can do that. I haven't figured out how to block people yet, but I will learn that function. And this one thing that I always tell these idiots, and this gets them really mad. Let me reset. Trans women are women. Trans men are men. Non-binary people exist. All gender identities are valid. If this bothers you, then too bad. It's your problem, not mine. We are here, we are queer, and we are here to stay, so get used to it. That is the message I tell them. And boy, do they get mad. All right, we're going to toss the mic over to KO4TZ, KJ7OMO.
KO4TZ. Sounds like y'all may have had some lid trouble. Sorry about that. Yeah, and sorry I didn't make it back in time when the net closed out. I just now pulled the NetLogger window up and it showed the net had closed. Lasted a little bit longer than I thought. Got a couple of things taken care of, club related stuff. So a bunch of updates I got to put out there. I love how they keep us in the loop on everything. I asked them, hey, when your webmaster's not able to make it to the club meetings because y'all schedule the club meetings at 7 o'clock on a Monday night, at the second Monday of the month, it kind of makes things a little complicated. So at the very least, send me the minutes, and never got the minutes. But I did get squared away the important highlights and stuff to put on the site. So shouldn't have any emails asking why this isn't on there and why that's not on there. It says I can only know about KO4TEC.
Alrighty, copy that. KO4TEZ, KJ7OMO returning. Well, that kind of sucks that I didn't bother to save any of the minutes for you, but at least you were still able to get caught up somehow and get all that stuff sorted away, so that's good. We're going to toss it back over to November 4, November, Yankee X-Ray, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar.
I've got my own way of relating to difficult schedule with club meetings. For a local club, I'm supposed to be on the technical committee.
N4NYX KJ7OMO, your transmission abruptly ended. Try that again.
Over to you.
Yeah, your transmission abruptly ended, and then all I heard was over to you. Try that again.
I can't be sure where that cut off, but was just also complaining about having been not able to make a few of the club meetings, and was going to pass that back around the circle. This is November 4, November Yankee X-Ray.
Not sure if it's my turn or not. I was going to double check with Kimberly. I didn't know exactly where y'all placed me. KO4T.
Yeah, Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar, Mike Oscar, returning, I'll go ahead and act as the Reg 2 moderator person there, and keep track of who's who for y'all, so you don't have to worry about that. I don't have any comments right now, so I'll toss it over to you. KO4TZ KJ7OMO.
KJ7OMO KO4TZ. Yeah, well, I'm on good terms with my club, and we don't always see eye to eye on a lot of things, but they do make efforts and trying stuff, and a lot of stuff that I've mentioned's been implemented. So the only thing is they're fairly slow. I mean that's kind of understandable to a degree. I am the youngest person that's in our club, but that's not to say bad. It's just I know there's kind of some set ways and some things. And, navigating that and a lot of the age gap differences and stuff. It does have a little bit. It does have its. It has its drawbacks. So I've been trying to fix it where we maybe could do something like Zoom calls or something like that. And there's been. They like the idea of it, but there's never any big push to it. It's like when it comes up, it always gets kind of pushed to the side. So it's not really a whole lot of room to fix things when it comes to those sorts of situations. KO4TZ, I'm on, and I guess it's yours, sir.
Alright, KJ7OMO returning. No comments, so over to you, Sarah.
I can definitely see eye to eye with you, KO4TZ, about some of the leadership of the club maybe being not quite as fast on the take up with some of those ideas. And honestly, I'm not even sure how our club got started doing we're doing Google Meet web conferencing, especially since somebody got the club onto the Google Workspaces, or however they've branded it now, for the internal emails and such, especially since we are registered as nonprofit and Google Workspaces comes free for nonprofits. But they at least got that figured out when COVID started, and my question to you is, what is the current club interaction like? Like, is there any sort of meeting in person, online, or on the internet? To what extent is that? As for my comment, this is November 4, November Yankee X-Ray.
Let me guess. A bunch of old men that don't like changes to any part of the club, equipment, etc., and they are resisting you. Hate it when that happens, right? Over to you, SCJ. KO4TZ, KJ7OMO.
KO4TZ with a group. Yeah, there's kind of no other way of really sugarcoating it. It's a shame it's kind of like that. I will give my club credit with one thing. Anytime I pretty much called them as far as like if they ever needed any help with antenna work or anything of that nature, they needed a lend a hand or just needed to help you get on the air on a certain part of the bands or something like that, or get you started, they are absolutely on spot with that. I definitely wouldn't have got where I'm at without their help. I don't know. I kind of feel like there's more that we could do, and I do already have a hard enough time getting past that public image they kind of got for themselves now. Trying to get younger folks in, because as it be, one of our younger members of the club, who was club president, they just had elections recently, and my understanding he stepped down from it. He doesn't have the time, or I don't exactly know what his reasonings was, but I know he's been staying pretty busy, so I figure that's probably what the reason was. But I also feel like maybe some of the reason may have been because there's just nothing he can really bring to the table, or nothing he can really change. I figure that's probably why he let one of the former club presidents take it back over. So, yeah, it's the only thing. Like, there's more that we can do, and I actually brought up tonight. It wouldn't be a bad idea if we could do something like. I got thinking maybe some SSTV sort of net on Saturday nights, and see what kind of reception they will come up with that. I got one on board that says they're interested in it. They just don't know anything about how to do SSTV or any of that. So they'll say, well, I'm off Saturday nights, so I figure I could run as net control for it and give it a shot, and see what kind of what kind of check-ins we might could get on the club repeater with it, and see if it does anything. Just trying to generate a little bit of club activity, because by and large we're fairly stagnant. So, and trying to turn that around. KO4TZ.
All right, Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar, Mike Oscar, returning the traffic manager for this Red Chew. Yeah, SSTV is something we also thought about doing on the Pride Radio Network, and I actually wouldn't mind getting a SSTV thing going for us as well, just as a beta test to see how it goes. Yeah, that SSTV net for you folks over there sounds quite interesting. I mean, I would definitely be all for trying it out. That's for sure. I think we had a key up from Kilo November 4, India Tango November. I think call sign disappeared before I had the chance to double check it. Other station out there, if you wish to join us, go for it. KN4ITN KJ7OMO. Okay, maybe not. Do we have anybody else out there wishing to join this regular rag chew of ours? We'll stand by. All right, Sarah, go ahead and take it. November 4, November Yankee X, Zulu, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar.
November 4, November Yankee X right here. Yeah, it can definitely be interesting to deal with the club leadership and trying to make a difference to the wider community. Definitely one of the things that I wish that I could get my club up to speed on is being able to help get people on the air or to get help people get into the hobby. Yeah, I don't know. I hear it's almost impossible to have a perfect club one way or another, but can always aim to make it better, right? That'll be my comment. This round we'll pass that back out. This is November 4, November Yankee X-Ray.
Not sure why I botched your call sign. My apologies. I guess my brain decided to short circuit and spit out a Zulu instead of an X-ray. November 4, November Yankee X-Ray, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar, Mike Oscar. No comment at this time, so we'll toss it back over to Kilo Oscar 4, Tango Echo Zulu.
KO4TZ with the group. For ideas, I think get a couple people on board. Biggest thing is just it is kind of a thing trying to drag in the youth and into the ranks. Because that was one of the talks that one of our senior club members said they didn't miss any punches. They said, yeah, we just don't want the club to be thought of as more or less nursing home outfit. So. So I've got a couple of different ideas, which I think I brought some of those up in the Discord. Some of those ideas up anyway. So I think some of those would probably get some gears turning and get people interested. And they had recently mentioned that there is one particular large event that our town has at the beginning of each month on a Friday. And they were considering, it says, well, maybe we could do something, take advantage of that crowd. And I said, well, if it would be ideal and the city didn't have any complaints about it, we've got a small park that's fairly close into the center of town where most of that activity is going to be. And I said, maybe we're all there or in the park or something. At the very least, it would probably make a couple people stop by and say, why have they got a bunch of wires hanging on the ground or laying on the ground? And curiosity, maybe come over there and try to find out the answer behind that. KO4TZ.
All right, KJ7OMO returning. Nothing to say at this time, so we'll toss it back over to N4NYX, KJ7OMO, and if anybody else out there wishes to join us anytime, feel free to break in. Over to you, Sarah.
Yeah, this is November 4, November Yankee X-Ray, and just setting up in a public place and being able to brandish a club call sign or the club name is definitely one way to get some attention. I know that when I've gone out and done parks on the air at some of the state parks near me, especially For context, I'm within like the Denver metro area, and there's not a whole lot of parks on the air that aren't pretty popular state park recreation areas. So when I do set up an antenna, I does get some attention. Maybe not as much as you want, but you will at least capture a few people's attention. And when I've done conferences, and I guess at conferences I've had a lot of people come up and ask, and the interesting thing with that is trying to decide how long you want to have a conversation with one person before switching off to the next person before they get bored of waiting, and it can definitely be an interesting balance when you're attracting that much attention. But yeah, it's definitely one way is just getting out there and being visible under the club's name. That's one way to do it. We'll toss that around the circle. This is November 4, November Yankee X-Ray.
All right, Kilo Juliet 7 off your mic, Oscar returning. Yeah, I definitely agree with the idea of setting up a public place and bringing in some folks over there. It's definitely going to attract some attention, and who knows, you might even get some new hands out of it. You just never know. Over to Kilo Oscar 4, Tango Echo Zulu, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar.
KO4TZ. Like I said, there's a couple ideas I think that could bring some people in. Just not really sure how effective they could possibly be. But being right there in town, be right pretty much into the square where they'd have all the main attractions on that Friday event. It should at the least get a couple eyes going that way, and push come to shove, maybe we could do some kind of radio comms using some of the club drones or something like that. I know a lot of people still like playing a lot of telemetry stuff with drones and stuff in the club, and just general experimentation with them. Biggest thing is just the obstacle trying to break conceptions and stuff, because I've been talking about what I do with radio quite a bit, and I've got some people at least will take time and listen out for when I talk about it at work, but I'm still running into the consensus where 95% of the time it's like, yeah, I used to run CB back in the 70s. And then I have that one odd person out that says, oh, yeah, that looks like a ham radio. My granddad used to be into that. And I don't know, it kind of hurts your spirits a little bit. But I'm trying to figure ways I can try to maneuver that and try to turn that card around. Best way I've seen to at least grasp people the most is I'll be out there just out in the open and be doing something like, I did have one person that was at work with me, and I got them, I think, a little interested in it because I told them about SSTV. I said, did you know you can send pictures over the radio? I said, no, you can't do that. I said, yeah, you can do that. And then I pulled out my my SSTV encoder on my phone and had Robot 36 on my other phone. And I said, encoded an image in the app, played it from the microphone to the speaker, and let her sit there and watch in person as it encoded, decoded. So I think I got some wheels turning with that, and then I mentioned a couple other things you could do with it. So at least it might be something at least searching into. KO4TZ.
KK7OLL returning. That sounds like a really neat idea. Introducing SSTV to someone in that way. I think that's pretty cool. And there's also another thing that would let you send pictures over the air, and that's through System Fusion. System Fusion also can send pictures around, but I have not fully figured out I have not figured out a way to do it radio to radio yet, but I have figured out a way to do it over the WiresX network, the proprietary network that is, to upload a picture there and to receive pictures from there. So there has to be a way to send pictures to each other radio to radio on System Fusion. So that's another thing too, in addition to regular SSTV. I think I might have saw another call sign pop up. I'm not sure. So I'll drop the carrier real quick to check to see if anybody else wanted to join us in the Reg 2. KJ7OMO standing by. Nope. Must have been another Kerchunker. Back over to you. November 4, November, Yankee X-ray, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar.
Yeah, to reply to the SSTV and application on the phone to encode, that's honestly one of my favorite demos, and I got a few people interested when I was at the DEF CON conference by doing that, and I've got to say, too, that I try not to herd brand new people towards the System Fusion or D-Star side of things, since, I don't know, it might be more, the onboarding process might be more feasible if, you know, they aren't having to look at $200 minimum for a radio, and instead can look at the plain old analogs, whether the RT88, I believe, is the other model that was recently given away in the QRZ Jumpstart program, or, you know, any of those other cheap analog radios. I was going to say, comments on how to change perceptions. Yeah, it's definitely a perception that ham radio is the old person thing to do. I know that one person that I got into the hobby, their parents were just like, "Why are you doing that? That's a young person thing to do." And I guess I have it a little bit easy to help change those perceptions, since being able to present as you know, a young lady at any of the club meetings and anything else like that, it's like I am changing perception by simply being present. So I suppose that's one easy way to do it. Hi. We'll toss that back around to the Rag 2. This is November 4, November Yankee X-ray.
Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar, returning. Well, hey, ham radio is for all ages. If you're old enough to do the exam and to pass it, you're old enough to have the license. And I did a quick Google search, and apparently back in 1991, a young lady at the age of 5 back then was able to pass the ham radio exam and get her license and be on the air. So, yeah, it doesn't matter how old you are. If you can comprehend and understand what's on the materials, you can get your license, no problem. So, yeah, it's for everybody. In fact, I do think that more and more people should get on the airwaves and get on ham radio, because if anything ever happens to the internet or the power grid or some other type of failure, then, you know, we're going to need an alternative way of being able to communicate. And ham radio is the best way to do it, because when all else fails, radio still works. It's much more difficult to stop radio communications from happening. I'm sure you could try and jam a radio signal, but yeah, there are ways around that. So, radio is, is the way to go in times of need. And so, yeah, we should definitely promote the hobby and get more folks on board. And we'll toss it back over to KO4TZ, KJ7OMO.
Nick KO4TZ. So I could figure with one thing was, at least one opinion anyways, that at the very least, even if they don't catch the radio bug and it just doesn't really click, at the very least I think they should at least try it and give it a try. One thing I know, it kind of lured a couple people in when I was just first starting out, and I'm just over just 2 months, over a year being into the radio, and I can absolutely 100% say, hey, it's been worth the while. One recent example that I made to one person who had asked on Wild Radio, he brought up the all too recent downage of when Facebook went down for was in panics. It's like, I can't get on this or outage when several sites went offline and they lost their primary means. And then I just showed them me on my radio. Says, well, I can still get out because I just key it right here and there we go. I did my fair share of tinkering when I was a kid, when just playing around with the old solid state Sears radio that I had as a kid, and I was always wanting to just more or less just take stuff and just take it apart and just tinker with it just to see how everything worked. I wouldn't be satisfied till I got the entire thing tore apart and could see every little nook and cranny of the thing. It just I don't know if it was really more of an autistic thing or not, but I never really got quite past that stage anyways. But I figure if there was ever one way to get somebody, get a radio bug and get somebody interested in just being a working as radios, if they were low on a budget and they didn't have a whole lot to splurge, but they at least get a curiosity going. One thing I tell them to do is like, okay, well, I'll let you do with this. Go get you some scrap wood. Go get you a toilet paper roll, a coil of copper wire. Get you some lead out of a pencil, and see if you can round you up one little greeting card speakers. And I'll sit there and show you how to make a small crystal AM set, and you can hear AM station. Next to nothing, just junk. So, and that definitely I know would get several people on board. It certainly did me. KO4TZ.
KJ7OMO returning. Who knew that a simple thing like that could get people turned on to the radio? For me, it was a long time ago when I was a kid. It was my dad briefly talking about it, and I decided, well, I'll get myself a CB, because I started out with CB, and off and on I was playing around with that throughout the years, and then I was also playing around with FRS and GMRS throughout the years as well, off and on, of course. And then I decided, well, you know what, we'll give ham radio a try and see what happens. And well, here I am on the airwaves. I originally wanted to get on ham radio, get my ham radio ticket back in 2011, but lots of life problems happened, and I was dealing with legal issues at the time, and I was arrested for something I did not do, and I had to spend time at a homeless shelter for a while after that. It was a huge mess, but in the end I was able to get those charges dismissed, and I was able to come back home and get my life turned around. And after I got things turned around, I was then able to eventually get my ham radio license shortly after COVID started, and I had the opportunity to get licensed remotely. KJ7OMO, back over to N4NYX, and it looks like we got a few minutes until the PSRG net starts.
Question on the PSRG net, actually, since that's about to interrupt us here, I suppose. Is that like one of the nightly nets with the Puget Sound repeater group, or is that or is Siobhan's net a specific net, or, and if it is like a daily net that Siobhan happens to do on Saturdays, what's that net control schedule like, if you know? We'll toss that back to you, Kimberly. This is November 4, November Yankee X-ray.
Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar returning. They have 3 nets a day. 8 a.m. I think, or 9 a.m. 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Pacific, and 9 p.m. Pacific. And on Mondays they have a 4th net at 7:30 p.m. for members to check in, and for club members to check in, and also for guests to check in as well. So yeah, 3 nets a day with an additional weekly net on Mondays. And Siobhan happens to do the Saturday evening net, which happens in just under 3 minutes from now. Over to CJ, KO4TZ, KJ7OMO.
And Roger on that. I said I initially didn't really have much of a radio bug when I first started out. Like I said, what little bit of radio I did do was primarily just tinkering, general electronics, which, odd enough, I really never got much into actual principles and the actual underlinings of electronics and stuff. I had really just only got a lot of exposure in electronics, I guess, when I went on to tech school. Originally, I was thinking about taking up carpentry, but several of my friends said they was going to give the electronics class a show, and that's where I ended up going for that, and got a little bit under my belt with it. Made my way on to college and did a dual study for electronics and electrical. And unfortunately, I never did go back to finish that course. Need to, but I think if I were to go back now, I'd probably go over to network administration and the like. But looking at the clock, it looks like we're about 1 minute out to Siobhan's net, so I think I'll go ahead and give it back to you, Kimberly, KO4TZ.
All right, not a problem. We'll go ahead and if any of you wanted to check into her net, let me know, and I will do the relay thing. back over to November 4, November Yankee X-Ray, Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar Mike Oscar, and we're fixing to connect here very shortly.
Yeah, Kimberly, if you could take me on a relay check-in in and out again this time. My DMR is pretty close to dying here, so I don't think I'll be able to make much contribution to the conversation, but we'll throw it on the dock charger and listen in for sure. This is November 4, November Yankee X-Ray, back up to you.
Alrighty, Sarah. Well, it's a pleasure chatting, and I'll go ahead and mark you down as IO for her net, and alright, we'll go ahead and let your radio rest, 3373 and all that, and yeah, it's great talking with you. And over to CJ, KJ, KO4DZ, KJ7OMO.
Alright, KJ7OMO, KO4TZ. I'll go ahead and make this my final so that we can go ahead and swap over Kimberly. I think I'll go ahead and take one of those IOs as well, but I'm going to probably swap back over to the Discord, give the Echolink a rest for a while. I've still got a couple of issues with the DSL connections trying to come back in intermittently, so don't really want to push my luck. So I'll go ahead and be swapping back to the Discord and wish 73 for now. KO4TZ, I'll be see you on my final.
Alrighty, CJ, 7-3 to you, and yeah, we'll see you on Discord. I will now connect us to the Puget Sound system, where we join Siobhan 1 minute late. Kilo Juliet 7, Oscar. And for those of you who are on YouTube, I'm going to end this stream. Be sure to like, subscribe, ring that bell, and we'll see you on the next one. And I will start a separate